Okay, here we go with part two. We'll pick up with Kat. Kat, your speech was so well organized that it almost defies description. If you were on the cooking channel, you would have made them look sick by your organization. It was so well organized that it was unbelievable. Just a little bit on the dark side. You may want to work on getting a little more light. Keep going. Watch your flow when you're in that. Don't let a little thing interrupt you. Just keep on going. You're talking to your friend in your kitchen, and you know what? Sometimes you drop something, you pick it up, you just keep on going. You don't make a big to-do out of it. I thought the noise of the mixer was going to totally wipe out your voice. It was obvious, but I still could hear you. You want to add a little volume when you've got more noise going on around you. But I'll tell you what, you are the Julia Child of COMM 101. I'll tell you, I spent 20 years in public television watching the cooking shows. I watch the Food Channel now, and right on. I mean, you could be up there right now doing stuff. That was so good in so many ways. You need to dwell just a little bit longer on the finished product. You need to maybe tilt it up just a little bit so we could see it a little bit better. But I was saying, oh, show me the finished product. Show me the finished product. And you reached over and you showed me the finished product. And boy, did it look good. But I needed, it's like, hold it there a little bit longer. So I'm almost like wanting to reach through the screen and grab it. Again, it was compelling. It was too interesting for me to be overly critical. Go for a little bit more energy in your voice and a little more volume. But you did really, really well on this speech. Exceptionally well planned and organized. And when you're doing a process speech where there are steps, wow, way to go. Nice job. All right, this is Boll Weevil. Boll Weevil, you're unflappable. A little too much camera movement and noise, lots of wind noise. I can't hear you. For whatever reason, people got up from the table, your audience, and went and sat behind you and then ignored you. They were talking. Now, if you were in theater, that's called upstaging. Basically, it's what's going on behind you that's killing you. And when I can look out behind you in the shelter and I can see somebody walking a dog, I'm going to watch the dog. You've lost me entirely. You're also in a shelter house that is essentially shady, and your camera is shooting out into a real bright, sunny area, and the iris on the camera is going to adjust, and that's going to be a problem. I basically can't see your eyes. The wind noise on the microphone is bad. Somebody right by the camera keeps whispering, and I can hear that. Your audience got up and left. I can't count the audience when they're not there for the full speech. And they clearly aren't great friends if they get up and leave and then go and talk while you're talking. And certainly don't sit behind you where they're still in the camera. There's all kinds of things wrong with that. And those are all flappable kinds of things. I said you were unflappable. Plan and work. You should not have discovered that spelling out Halloween on camera was going to take a long time. You should have known that. And possibly you should have had a one ready that was finished, and you show that one after you try to put on one letter and say, okay, it takes a long time, but when it's done, it looks like this. When you're in the shadow and you're showing something that's black, hard to see. The speech itself, the topic, was good, but it's very difficult to pull off a topic like that when you had all of the other problems that you had. Hammer. It could be a little more interesting. It was kind of a narrow audience speech in many respects. In a sense, kind of too narrow. If you were on the how-to channel, you would be a topic that only the people that were going to do that would even pay attention to. Lots of camera noise. You got to get rid of that. It looks like you're reading off a script that's under the camera. Get used to not doing that. You need to be working from kind of a speaker's notes. You gave far too many details. Nice instead of nice. You go nice, and when you have an article, you don't want to stress it. It's nice, not nice. You had bird feeders, I think it says. I can't read my own writing. Something feeders twice. I'm not sure what it was. You had an extremely abrupt ending. There were too much detail. Words only. It's okay knowing what your video shows, but you got to kind of do that when you're doing a word speech, when you're only talking about the subject, and you didn't have enough people in your audience. Kentucky, interesting on a simple level. Your shot is a bit needs to be a bit tighter, the composition of the shot. Work on flow, smooth it out. Don't get lost in your own script. Don't repeat points. Establish your credibility. This is something for everybody. Why are you talking about this? If you've been in theater for 25 years, say that. If you've done multiple productions, say that. If you've been a cook in a restaurant or you've baked cakes for 30 years, say that. It all helps establish your credibility. Slow down a bit. Talk to me conversationally. Don't lecture to me. You're too detailed. You tried to cover every aspect of every kind of theater, and you can't do that. You pick a topic, stick with it, simplify it, and keep it kind of easy. Watch sighing out loud, and eyes are blue, ears are blue was something you said. Eyes are blue, ears are blue. You want to go back and pay attention to that. Don't give me too many details. Theater is very complicated, and there's a lot of stuff involved in it. And I've been involved in theater all my life. So you want to be simple. You want to speak to what the audience is interested in. They don't care about all of the titles and things unless you're speaking to a theater class where they've got to know all that. Speaking to a general audience, be conversational. Okay, we're going to stop there, and we'll come back with one more of these.